Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatajayam Udiret Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. Today we continuing Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1 chapter 17 Punishment and Reward of Kali. Shloka number only 39 and 40. पुनः च याचमानाय
पुनः च याचमानाय
जातरूपम् अदात् प्रभुः
जातरूपम् अदात् प्रभुः
ततः अनृतं मदं कामं
ततः अनृतं मदं कामं
रज वैरं च पंचमम्
रजः वैरं च पञ्चमम्
अमुनि पंचस्थानानि
अमुनि पञ्चस्थानानि
हि अधर्म प्रभव कलिः
हि अधर्मप्रभवः कलिः
अवतरेण दत्तानि
औत्तरेण दत्तानि
नेवसत्तत् निदेशकृत
न्यवसत्तत् निदेशकृतः
पुनः च याचमानाय
पुनः च याचमानाय
जातरूपम् अदात् प्रभुः
जातरूपम् अदात् प्रभुः
ततः अनृतं मदं कामं
ततः अनृतं मदं कामं
रजः वैरं च पंचमम्
रजः वैरं च पञ्चमम्
अमुनि पंचस्थानानि
अमुनि पञ्चस्थानानि
हि अधर्म प्रभव कलिः
हि अधर्मप्रभवः कलिः
अवतरेण दत्तानि
औत्तरेण दत्तानि
न्यवसत्तत् निदेशकृत
न्यवसत्तत् निदेशकृतः
पुनः च याचमानाय जातरूपम् अदात प्रभुः ततः नृतं मदं कामं प्रजा वैरं च पंचमम् अमुनि पंचस्थानानि हि अधर्म प्रभव कलिः अवतरेण दत्तानि नवसत्तत् निदेशकृत
पुनः च याचमानाय जातरूपम् अदात् प्रभु ततः अनृतं मदं कामं रजः वैरं च पञ्चमम् अमुनि पञ्चस्थानानि हि अधर्मप्रभवः कलि औत्तरेण दत्तानि निवसत्तत् निदेशकृत्
Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The personality of Kali asked for something more, and because of his begging, the king gave him permission to live where there is gold, because wherever there is gold, there is also falsity, intoxication, lust, envy, and enmity. Thus, the personality of Kali, by the directions of Mahārāja Parīkṣit, the son of Uttara, was allowed to live in those 5 places, purported by the Srila Prabhupada. Although Mahārāja Parīkṣit gave Kali permission to live in 4 places, it was very difficult for him to uh, find the places, because during the reign of Mahārāja Parīkṣit, there were no such places. Therefore, Kali asked the king to give him something practical which could be utilized for his nefarious purposes. Maharaj Parikshit thus gave him permission to live in a place where there is gold, because wherever there is gold, there are all the above mentioned 4 things, and over and above them, there is enmity also. So the personality of Kali became gold standardized. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, gold encourages falsity, intoxication, prostitution, envy, and enmity. Even a gold standard exchange and currency is bad. Gold standard currency is based on falsehood, because the currency is not on a par with the reserve gold. The basic principle is falsity, because currency notes are issued in value beyond that of the actual reserve gold. This artificial inflation of currency by the authorities encourages prostitution of the state economy. The price of commodities becomes artificially inflated because of bad money or artificial currency notes. But bad money drives away good money. Instead of paper currency, actual gold coin should be used for exchange, and this will stop prostitution of gold. Gold ornaments for women may be allowed by control, not by quality, but by quantity. This will discourage lust, envy, enmity when there is actual gold currency in the form of coins. The influence of gold in producing falsity, prostitution, etc. will automatically cease. There will be no need of an anti corruption ministry for another term of prostitution and falsity of purpose. Thus, the age of Kali began with gold standardization, and therefore falsity, intoxication, animal slaughter, and prostitution are rampant all over the world. And the Senate section is eager to drive out corruption. The counteracting process is suggested above, and everyone can take advantage of this suggestion. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवाञ्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान् सगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांच नमो ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य तारिणे वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा. Today we try to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, Punishment and Reward of Kali, Shloka number 39 and 40. In 39 Shloka, here, um, when personality of Kali has given by Parīkṣit Maharaj 4 places in where he can live: intoxication, then uh, uh, drinking, and uh, 4 places they given: uh, drinking, prostitution, animal slaughter, and gambling. But he understands that there is no place in the kingdom of the Parikshit Maharaj. Um, so he asks something again more, and that time again uh, Parikshit Maharaj giving him to the place where he can live, that is the gold. Because there where there is gold, there is also falsity, intoxication, lust, envy, and enmity. So Maharaj uh, giving that place, and due to that, um, what happened and what important lesson we receive from that. Prabhuji will tell us in detail nicely. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji, for a wonderful summarization. So, as we see here, very simply, it is mentioned that Kali asked for something more, and since he was begging, king gave him permission to live wherever there is gold. Because, as mentioned in the shloka, wherever there is gold, there is falsity, intoxication, lust, and vain enmity. And thus Kali was allowed to live in those places. Now let us go a little behind. Parikshit Maharaj has actually caught Kali when he was harming a cow and a bull, which are symbols of Dharma and earth. So he was to be punished. But then, instead of punishment, because Kali surrendered and begged for shelter, Parikshit Maharaj had to do something. Kali had addressed Maharaj Parikshit as chief amongst the protectors of religiosity. Because the king refrained from killing someone who had surrendered unto him. And so he became the chief amongst the protectors of religion. Because for religious principles, a surrendered soul should be given all protection, even if he is an enemy. And Maharaj Parikshit was following that rule. So you can just imagine if a devotee gives this, the kind of protection which Krishna, who is the personality of Godhead, he can give if someone surrenders unto him, and that too as a devoted servant. He will protect from all sins and all resultant reactions. सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य माम् एकं शरणं व्रज अहं तुम सर्व पापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. And that is why Krishna comes. Whenever there is irreligion, whenever there are problems, Krishna himself comes so that he can resolve the burden on the Mother Earth. And his devotees are also well trained in the principles of religion. That is why Parikshit Maharaj had to forgive the surrendered Kali. At the same time, being educated, well trained, he understood the changing times. He also was aware about the destiny of Kali-yuga. So he thought, why not limit the influence of Kali-yuga as long as I am here? And so he decided to allocate specific places for Kali to reside. So initially 4 places were assigned, if you all remember. Dyūta, pāna, strī-saṅga, hiṁsā. So dyūta means places of gambling. Pāna means places of drinking, alcoholism, intoxication. Strī-saṅga is places for prostitution, illicit sex. And hiṁsā, that is places of animal slaughter. But then Kali pleaded again for more residents. And then King Parīkṣit gave him the 5th place, jāta-rūpa, that is gold. And with this, Kali expanded into subtle, dangerous territories. Now, when 4 places were given, the places which were told were difficult for Kali to find because in Maharaj Parikshit's rule, no such places existed. So it was completely impractical. Though the whole yuga was belonging to him, Kali would not have been able to do anything. And that is why he had pleaded for something practical which will enable him for his nefarious purposes. Now, when Maharaj Parikshit gave gold, Maharaj Parikshit was also very, very intelligent. He knew, let me give something which will be again difficult. Now, since the history memorial that we know of, gold has always been found a place where it is considered as an important aspect of material wealth. Like Ravan used to live in the Lanka, which was a golden city, Soneki Lanka. And that was again created by whom? By Kuber, who we all know is the banker of gold, of wealth. So gold always glitters, and everyone wants to have gold. It has got its own attraction in the material world. And so to get gold, there would be activities which we saw, the four activities, which were the places allocated by Mahārāja Parīkṣit already to Kali. And beyond that, there would also be enmity. So accordingly, the fifth place turned out to be inclusive. Kali became gold standardized is a statement which Prabhupada makes. Because gold encourages lies, intoxication, prostitution, envy, enmity. And that is why in those days itself, Prabhupada has said that whatever exchange currency exchanges that is being followed by the world order currently, the gold standard exchange, they are very bad. Because none of the nations are having currency on par with the reserve gold that they have in their national banks. So there is falsity. Currency notes are given or issued in a value beyond that of the actual reserve gold. So artificial inflation of currency. And thus there is falsification. Prabhuji calls it as good as prostitution of the state economy. Because everything is artificially inflated due to this artificial currency notes and bad money. So good money is driven away, and all because of gold exchanges. In fact, even there is a mention that such was the precarious condition of our nation also in 1990s, 1991, that we had to surrender our gold to tide over the crisis. So whatever Prabhupada mentioned in his purport decades ago came out to be true. So he is recommending that instead of paper currency, actual gold coins should be used for exchange. Because then immediately the likening, the interest for gold, the prostitution of gold will be stopped. There will not be any more smuggling of gold cases anywhere. Women like gold, so maybe we can allow the women to wear gold ornaments, but again in limited quantity. So the lust, envy, enmity will be automatically removed. So this is the principle which Prabhupada tries to explain to us, that if you have to remove corruption, if you have to remove falsification, then maybe we should have gold coins as currency. Because this Kali-yuga has started with gold standardization. And because of that, the lies, the intoxications, animal slaughters, prostitution, it is rampant all over the world. And those who are devotees, who are sane, they want to drive out this aspects. So 5 abodes of Kali are now fixed along with their influences. Andruta, that is falsehood. So wherever there is untruth, like speech, media, politics, even relationships. So Kali thrives. Lies break trust, and trust is the foundation of dharma. So Andruta or falsehood becomes the place where Kali is thriving. Second is mother, intoxication or pride. So it can be in the form of alcohol, drugs, egoistic pride. All these areas help Kali flourish because they cloud judgment and lead to immoral behavior. We recently had this news of a person who was high on drugs in his car, killing another person who was on a two-wheeler. And what was he doing? He was coming out and saying, one more round, one more round. This is Kali. Third is kama, lust, because lust destroys self-control and leads to exploitation, attachment, and moral decay. Modern society, unfortunately, is glorifying sensual enjoyment and so inviting Kali's influence. Aspects which are not related to even usage, they are always promoted with female models. So sensuality is being promoted, and so Kali is being invited. The fourth is Rajogun or passion. Because whatever activities we do in passion lead to great, unending desire and agitation. Raja is required for action, but unchecked passion, it leads to imbalance and fall down. And the fifth is Vaira or enmity. Conflict, revenge, hatred, they all give strength to Kali. Whether it be in families, communities, nations, enmity always breeds division and violence. So if mother and children, father and children, brother and brother or siblings, husband, wives, they have any kind of conflict, any kind of a hatred, then it is giving strength to Kali. So Prabhupada tells us we have to take a decision whether we want such things to grow. Because Mahārāja Parīkṣit, he has used his wisdom by allocating limited zones to Kali. He showed his deep understanding of governance, practical leadership. He could eradicate, but he limited his spread. Moral boundaries, he gave only abodes so that he could encourage people to avoid immorality. But then, for a period of time, that plan has failed. So these shlokas, they are making us understand that we should go out and try to preach the principles of Bhagavatam. We get so many lessons here. First and foremost, we must avoid Kali's abodes. So as devotees, we must stay away from gambling, intoxication, illicit sex, meat eating, greed for gold. Second, we have to live in Satya, that is truth. Because truthfulness is the leg upon which Dharma still stands. Without it, spiritual life is impossible. Third is, we have to practice Sankirtan Yajna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us the weapon by which we can fight against Kali. The congregational chanting of the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And the fifth lesson for us in Kali-yuga is we have to be vigilant. Kali is very subtle. Even religious looking institutions, individuals, they can fall under its influence through falsehood and pride. So though Kali's presence is inevitable in this age, Srimad Bhagavatam powers us with knowledge to recognize and resist that influence. King Parīkṣit's example teaches us to be bold, intelligent, spiritually grounded in face of a dharma. By staying engaged in devotional service, avoiding abodes of Kali, we can protect ourselves and others from degradation. That is why we have to preach the principles of Bhagavatam. And there are 5 ways which Srila Prabhupada has recommended. One, Karma Yoga. We do everything for the satisfaction of the Lord. Two, regular hearing of the Srimad Bhagavatam from authorized persons or realized souls, which is very, very important. Shravanam. Three, chanting of the glories of the Lord congregationally, at home, at places of worship, as well as at places of work. The Harinam Sankirtam. Fourth, rendering all kinds of service to Bhagavatas engaged in preaching Srimad Bhagavatam. And fifth, residing in a place where the atmosphere is saturated with Krishna consciousness. So, what Prabhupada ji has indirectly told us is that we should all stand united, because united we stand, divided we fall. So we have to engage ourselves in all activities for the pleasure of Krishna. And what is Krishna's pleasure? Krishna's pleasure is to see that all the living beings, the souls, they return back home, back to Godhead in Golok Vrindavan. So you can please Krishna by trying to ensure that all the people who are in ignorance are made aware about their original constitutional position of being Jivera Swarup hai Krishnera Nityadas. And that they should follow the principles of Bhakti Yoga to go back home, back to God. And for that, it is important that Srimad Bhagavatam has to be heard repeatedly, as many times as possible, from everyone who comes in Guru Parampara system. Those who are initiated in the Guru Parampara system. We should have as many Kirtan programs in our family as possible, in our societies. At least we can create groups which can read the Shastras of our friends, of our relatives, of our colleagues, of our maybe employers and employees. That is the best way. So automatically the atmosphere will get saturated with Krishna consciousness, which Prabhupada ji is saying, and we will be able to successfully overcome the effects of Kali. So let us chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and create a space where Kali has no entry. Bold, underline, italics, large fonts, no entry to Kali. Only Harikatha, 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 and Harina. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.